The following is a presentation of The Day.
An American holiday, the opening of high school football in the fall, and what better place to open it than the premier program of the ECC at Killingly High School, playing host to the Masuk of Monroe Panthers in a game that has statewide implications and interest, and all of the action is live on Game Day. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health, solutions for all your dental needs. All that's good begins with a smile. When you visit our office, your smile is our top priority. So our entire team's dedicated to providing you with the personalized dental care that you deserve. Visit waterforddentalhealth.com. A huge crowd here at Killingly High School, students, parents, and of course when you talk Killingly, you talk about the Youth League. It's Friday night lights in the town of Killingly. The entire town, starting with the youth program, shows up for what is the entrance in all of, I would say, the state of Connecticut, but certainly here in the eastern half of the state, as Killingly High School. Recent state champions, lost to the state finals last year after beating this Masuk team in a classic in the semifinals. Killingly, of course, mirrors Masuk in many ways, both looking to replace a quarterback, both bringing back all-state running backs, both with experienced size on the line. And at the end of the day, will it be Killingly soaring, or will Masuk pop the champagne? That's, of course, Soren Reef and Jason Champagne, the two all-state running backs. And it wouldn't be game day without the coach, Pasta Santabria. But here comes Killingly High School. Waving the flag is number 34, Soren Reef. We're going to say his name an awful lot. When I saw Coach Neal heading into the locker room, I said, any surprises or anything I need to know tonight? And he goes, 34 is going to get the ball.
Amen. That's what it's all about. I saw the video this past week, and I was really excited. And speaking with him last year, at the NFA game when he did a great job there, he was just a motivated young man with purpose, and his desire to go out there and represent the team is going to be really good this year for this program.
Last year, these two teams met in what became a semifinal classic, Killingly holding on to the victory after Masuk came back from a 20-point deficit. They have a lot of similarities. They're returning two all-state running backs in Champagne and Reef, but they're looking to replace quarterbacks, senior quarterbacks. Now, Killingly is going to be turning to a sophomore. Masuk is going to be bringing in a senior who was a wide receiver last year and who actually caught a touchdown pass in that semifinal game. So different approaches to the quarterback position, but when you look at Masuk, they're going to spread it out. They've got really big skill position players. They've got tall wide receivers. You're going to be hearing about the Walkers, Shane Walker, Gavin Walker, a lot of catches. On the other side, Soren Reef is going to be the sole focus of every team this year, and he's going to get the opportunity behind when you have the XR Hulii.
That's right.
That's two XR Julius brothers. They become the XR Hulii, along with Alexis Ruiz. Killingly brings back 4/5 of its offensive line, big guys. So does Masuk. A lot of the quality of both teams is on the line and in the skill positions. But when you have new quarterbacks, kind of makes everything interesting.
Well, I tell you, the advantage definitely goes to Masuk. To have somebody as a wide receiver, knowing that he's worked with quarterbacks before, it's good experience. But the sophomore, knowing that he's coming from a traditional program, he's probably seen it all since he was a youth. And as you can see, all the youth kids out there today representing, it does take that tradition to also bring motivation. So hopefully this will balance out before kickoff, and we see the captains out there in the front representing.
It's Reef and the 2XR Julii. Now, of course, this is game one of a huge slate for game day, so you're going to want to come every week here as we'll present you the best in Eastern Connecticut and high school sports. Killingly has won the toss, and they have elected to receive, so we're going to find out right away about the RPO.
The RPO.
Run people over, the old school Killingly offense. Now, Coach, this is the first, like I said, of many, and this is probably as big a game as exists in the state this year. Two teams that have state championship aspirations. Yeah. Your point about the Masuk quarterback being a senior and coming from the wide receiver position, I think, is really important on a team where the quarterback has to make a lot of reads.
Yes, definitely.
For Killingly, the sophomore has it a little easier. His read is hand it to 34, probably 30 times tonight.
Hand it off till he gets his number called.
34 for 34 carries.
That's the good thing about this system with Coach. It's really a run-oriented offense, but it also exploits that defense that makes too much of an overcommitment for the run game and lets big plays occur. And we've seen that last year. So hopefully that'll be something that the sophomore will be able to handle with the pressure today and make great plays and can be consistent. That's the key right here for this game.
Now, it's a little part of things, but in addition to replacing the quarterback, Masuk did not have to replace part of its offensive line. It has two giant offensive linemen, Matt Gasparini and Lee Brownville, both who are honorable mention All-State, both of whom go 6'3", 6'2", in the 270 range. So Masuk's going to rely on size as well, but they have a veteran kicker. Jackson Zillick is a kicker who had a field goal at the end of the year last year to beat Bunnell. So an experience at the kicking game, Killingly replacing its kicker. So Masuk with a sophomore Zillick kicking off here, left to right in the white. Back deep is Soren Reef, along with Everton Brown. Zillick approaches. High spiral. It's not going to go to the back row. They're going to let it bounce. And Brown, and it's on the turf, and they're going to say he was down on the ground, and that's a miscue to start the game.
Yeah.
Well, I think Killingly wanted to let it bounce to Reef.
Yeah, definitely. I think the kicker did a good job, too. It might have been set up where it was just nice and high, waiting for the returner to get to the ball. But, again, they were waiting for Reef to get that ball, and thank God they got that ball there secured so they can get the offense out.
So Brown tried to run up and grab it, which was smart, but he ran into his up man, and it caused some problems. So Killingly will have it, 1st and 10, and the ball will be right on the 20-yard line. Reef's going to be in the backfield, along with Gabriel Torrenti, or Torrent. Handoff, Reef breaks a tackle, and only two as a swarm of Panthers, led by Colin Hope, get to the ball. It'll be 2nd and long.
Yeah, that defense looks hyped up today. They were really hitting their gaps real quick. And, again, this is something that will definitely produce in the first quarter, what's going to be established for today's game.
So we'll see how they make use of Reef. This is the old school Killingly formation. This is not what we saw last year with 2 and 3 wideouts where they spread it out a little bit. But this is a power set we know really well with a deep split in the backfield. Nothing doing. No gain there. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
You could definitely see the size difference in some of the position players. I mean, the front line and the offensive line look like they're pretty sizable for this program to be flying off right now. Tough third situation now for the Killingly football team.
Yeah, 3rd and 10 is not a spot they love to be in, and let's find out if they're going to put it into Sumner's hands here. Will they throw it on 3rd and long? For years, they were comfortable running 3rd and long, punting away, playing defense, and we're going to get a timeout because they're going to want to talk it over.
Yeah.
Our first timeout of the game with 10:38 remaining in the first period. It's no score. Killingly with a big 3rd and 10. You're watching Game Day, and we're going to take a look at the sheer volume of young future cheerleaders. Not only did the youth programs get represented with the young football players, but look at the young cheerleaders next to the veteran cheerleaders. I was saying before, Coach, that you look at Friday Night Lights. Everyone watches Friday Night Lights. They know about Texas and the South and, Dillon Panthers. Killingly is the closest thing we have in the ECC, certainly on the eastern part of the state, to Friday Night Lights.
Well, it's rooted.
The event.
Definitely rooted, and it's years that they developed this program. And I know when I played, they did have a good foundation, but it was just not up there to that elite level. And for all these years they put it in, they've really established themselves to be a great community. It was a hard ride up here up the hill. The traffic was heavy.
We'll talk a little bit more about the difference between a team, a program, and a community in a moment. Killingly, 3rd and 10. Sumner's gonna throw. Drops it. Pass is complete, but nothing doing. Flying to the football, Ryan Putman, the linebacker, first there for Masuk. And Killingly is gonna go 3 and out and going in the wrong direction. And it's gonna be 4th and 15, and they'll have to punt it away.
That defense was flying around. They read that actually happening as it developed. It looked like it was going to be a quick screen, but he flared it out to the back, and that defense had great angle of pursuit and secured the tackle.
Brandon Rosas back in the deep spot as the punter, the diminutive man. High snap, no real rush. High kick, bounces and takes a Killingly bounce all the way to the 45-yard line, but Masuk's going to have great field position at the Killingly 45. So, lots of teams have great years, they have great teams. When we were at New London, it was a program. Every year you could count on a certain level of excellence. Right. But as good as the community in New London was, what Killingly has is demonstrated here. The youth leagues, the cheerleaders, the parents, the town, this is their Friday night event.
Exactly.
And I have a question for you after this play. First down, Panthers, gonna throw. Out in the flat it goes, and it's complete. Caught by Colin Hope, gain of 4, and the clock will run. You think, when you played on Saturday mornings.
Yep.
Do you think Friday nights helps contribute to the community event?
I mean, for the players, I know that they would like to have that night rest to go at it, but for the community, this is a great opportunity. It gives them that moment that they're all together in one spot.
Trips right for Masuk. Quarterback is Klein. Klein to throw. Tosses it to Champagne. Champagne breaks a tackle. He'll have a first down to the 32-yard line, and that's their big play guy, Jason Champagne.
That offensive line is containing any kind of penetration that's coming from the Killingly team. But, man, they're just running quick routes, mismatching players, and finding out the numbers of which receiver is going to be open.
Klein from the shotgun. Flag. Quick in. Gavin Walker has it, a gain of 8, but we're going to get a flag, and I think that's probably going to be illegal motion or a false start, but they're maybe saying against Killingly. Play continued, so that shows you that it was likely against the defense. Let's see what the call is here. I had it right. I had it right the first time.
Hey, 1 for 1 again now, starting a streak.
All right. So that's going to negate a big play for Masuk and back them up 5. It'll be 1st and 15.
Masuk is doing a great job running motions, setting up some formations that are a little different, and it's causing a little disruption for Killingly.
Walker is the receiver well to the right. Klein gonna throw. Pressured from straight up the middle. Has a deep ball. Has a man. And it's incomplete at the 2-yard line. Shane Walker was the intended receiver. Klein put it right on his fingertips at the goal line, but it was literally a step too far.
Yeah, it was a really good, close play there. I mean, he had it in his hands. It's just, I guess these first game glitches are being shown. We thought that would be a little bit more elite, but again, this is the first round for these guys, and something like that, if it would have been caught, could have created a lot of momentum change there. So, penalty that cost them right now. We have another flag on the field.
We have 2 penalties. One was against Masuk. The other was a roughing the passer penalty against Killingly, and that's the one they're marching off now. It's going to bring it all the way down to the 21-yard line, and it is going to move the chain. So it'll be first down Masuk as they get all the way down to the 20 on the roughing the passer penalty.
Yeah, it was a tough penalty.
Klein in the shotgun. Motion across is Viglione. Handoff, Champagne off left tackle, and a good job by the Killingly linebackers to get up there and stop it for a gain of 1.
Definitely a good read by the linebackers and scraping up to make a play. They're not intimidated by the size of this offensive line. They're definitely going after each other.
And that was Reef, the linebacker that made the tackle for Killingly. Brings up 2nd and 8. Champagne stands to the left of Klein. Trip receivers to the right, including the very big Gavin Walker. Klein rolls right, looking to throw, looking, tosses it, has a man, and it's incomplete. It was off the hands of Max Viglione, who I think either heard footsteps or was looking to see how much room he had, and he had some.
Yeah. More focus is needed by this offense to make these executions kind of come across a little bit more on the positive side. Yeah, again, another formation that looked like Killingly was having a little difficulties communicating what they had to run there, but they're smart enough to run and make a play. And
big 3rd down here for Masuk. 3rd and 7. Ball at the 17-yard line. Viglione in motion, and Klein's going to throw. This time he rolls weak side. Has a man, and it's complete at the sticks. Looks like it was caught by Shane Walker, and that's going to be a 1st and goal, and they're going to mark him just inside the 10. Shane Walker had 63 catches last year. So he's an experienced part of this offense. Yep. Klein, empty backfield. 4 receivers to the right, including Champagne. Klein takes it, throws it on a little swing pass to Champagne. Champagne waltzes into the end zone, pop the corks. Masuk on the board first at 6-0.
That was a great play right there. Run to 4 receivers set on one side. Causes the linebacker to have to choose if he's going to be a flat defender or play up on that player, and he ran flat route, and, well, they gave it right back to that back, and all the blocking was done to get into the end zone.
So 6-0 Masuk here in the first period, and into for the extra point will be Zillick. He'll kick it out of right at the 10-yard line, so the equivalent of a 20-yard extra point for Zillick. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is deep enough, long enough, straight enough, and good. 7-0 Masuk.
So one thing, and I don't want to tread on Coach Pasta's territory here, he can probably elaborate on it for us, but one thing I noticed, and I noticed this when I came to visit Killingly in practice also, was they wouldn't come out and say it, but I think they would like to give Reef a rest on defense. He was not out there on the first couple of plays. They were in a 4-3, and they immediately switched to a 3-4. I think he's probably one of their best, if not their best linebacker, but they know he's going to be a workhorse. And I got the sense if they could, they were going to try to give him some plays off on defense, but did not turn out that way on that drive.
I mean, he's here on the kickoff. He's on the punt team. He's playing off. He's going to get the ball 30 times. Yeah, some rest is important.
Finding that durability is sometimes taking him out on certain series, and yeah, you're right about that. Great point, Pete.
Zillick will kick it off. Another little pooch kick towards the sideline. That's going to sail out of bounds, and so Killingly will accept the penalty and have the ball in good field position. There's only one guy who can play every play of a game. His name was Jamal Johnson. and even he didn't have to go through the rigors of what Reef would have to go through.
Yeah.
One thing to play, free safety, and you get plays off.
You get plays off in certain situations. Yeah.
Middle linebacker, there's no plays off. So fullback, middle linebacker, there's no rest.
Very high intense situation. It's like the center being a nose guard. It's really intense. It's what's needed to be in order to keep some sustenance on that. But I like the way Coach Neal is making those adjustments, trying to get him a little rest early, keep him balanced to save him for the fourth quarter.
35-yard line. So Killingly with good field position and a new formation. We'll have 3 across. Little T. Reef gets the handoff, and he'll go behind XR Julius for about 2 yards, but Masuk doing a great job. And here's the difference. One of the most frustrating parts about playing Killingly is knowing what's coming and not being able to stop it. But if you can, how long does Killingly go with it before they have to try to do something different? 7-0, not yet, but soon. This is not like last year's team with Drybolts where they could throw the ball with Jacks and those guys and come back. This is a team with a sophomore quarterback that's going to be run heavy. Handoff, some room on the edge. Everton Brown has the first Killingly first down, showing some speed to the 45-yard line of Masuk.
This is where, you know, when you're asking for your team to come and step up, especially on game number 1, making those names be known, this young man goes out there, stretches the field, and that's what caused Masuk to really lose contain off the edge, was thinking that they were going to give the ball to Reef.
Well, it's fair to mention this, and Peter's going to nod his head because we've done enough Killingly games. We're often seeing the breakout of the other guy. Because going back to Jack Sharp and before that to Spencer Lockwood, there was always the premier guy, and teams focused so much on him that Killingly would use the secondary guy.
Yep.
Reef has a broken tackle, puts his head down. There's 8 yards on the back of Soren Reef. That's determination from 34.
Sorry to say, but simple football sometimes is what it makes football great. You know, they're all lined up, they know what they're going to do, and they're attacking them. And this can definitely chip away that, emotional content of what Masuk had, to start off this game. Now they're in their field territory, working into the red zone, trying to make sure that they can keep this drive going.
Well, showing that they'll use Brown, speed to the outside, gives a look, changes things up. This time, fullback dive, and not much there. Terenti on the carry, and he's going to be right up close. Will be 3rd and 2. But like I said, we've seen that every year we came in. Killingly had a premier back, and we had 200-yard games from the other guy because teams keyed so much on the prime guy, and they've always had 2 guys they relied on. At one point, Soren Reef was the other guy. Jack Sharp was the main guy. So we've seen it before. Short side handoff. Reef is there. He's going to be right at the stick. We'll see the mark. And I think that's going to be just enough for a first down. I'm going to say they move the chains on this, but either way, Killingly will go for it if they don't.
4th and 2.
No, they're going to say no gain, and gain of a yard. So it's going to be 4th and 1, and the ball is going to be at the 37-yard line.
Well, he's a better position right now for coach to make a play call on 4th down, instead of being behind on the opposite side of the field. So good opportunity for the Killingly football team to get a first down.
4th and a yard, trying to draw Masuk off with the hard count. So disciplined, Killingly. Masuk showing equal discipline. Now they're changing the play, and they're going to call a timeout. Killingly wanted to discuss it. So that's the discipline of Killingly, going up, trying to draw them off on the hard count. How many times do you see offenses go off sides on that hard count? But Masuk, give them credit defensively, they did not fall for it. They knew what was coming.
Right.
Killingly's going to have to talk about this 4th down play.
This is all the stuff that they've worked during the offseason, and then when they had preseason, the fundamentals. These are the line drills where you tell them to go on a cadence. This is the stuff that you say, keep your eyes on the ball. These coaches have put in their time and effort, many hours where they could sit back and make this game a complete facet of a game, and that was a good example of the discipline that the coaches applied to the players.
So here's a big play, 4th and 1. We got 4:50 remaining here in the first period, and Masuk looked like they had an easy time moving the ball because there were so many options. Now I expect Killingly will settle in defensively and try some things, including pressure.
Yep.
But Masuk's going to have a lot to say about it, and this is a kind of a statement here on 4th down. And I thought Masuk might do something. They almost did, and I'll tell you what that is after this play. Wide toss. Reef is going to have the first down. Bulls over the 35-yard line. First down, Killingly. So Masuk, and I noticed this right away, has a kid, sophomore, Nathaniel Leslie, 6'8", 405. 6'8", 405 pounds. Number 79, and I thought they might send him in. He plays nose.
Really?
And his job is to be 405 pounds and take on the front 2 guys and make teams go out.
To be a pure clogger or take that center and drive him back and create havoc on the mesh point.
And you can see him on the sideline. He is all of 6'8", 405.
Wow.
So Killingly went wide on 4th down, and got the first. Brown's going to have an off-tackle carry for Killingly. He's going to gain about 4. I love Masuk's defense. Size on the line, linebackers that seem to flow really well, and a secondary that knows that they don't have to lock in on receivers.
No, they definitely have a good, philosophy on how they're committed to stop the run. So yes, they're playing a lot of gap defense. Working with that three-man line, you could slant, you could pinch, you could send a backer. It mixes it up and it causes the blocking to be, a little chaotic for the assignment. So, so far so good. But I see that Killingly's doing well off tackle and the outside edge.
2nd and 8. Wide goes Reef. Puts his head down, breaks 2 tackles. Boom, boom, boom is the sound that Soren Reef makes as he crosses the sticks. First down, Killingly.
Once he gains that momentum on that 3rd step, he is trucking downfield. That's hard to stop. He's got a good low center of gravity as well.
He's much faster than people realize. If you look at his highlight film, a lot of open field runs. Those hits were delivered intentionally by him. He wants to punish defensive backs and linebackers and let them know early that he hits.
Yep.
And that's a strategy he employs. He could have just gone speed to the edge, but he put the head down. Reef gets it again. This time, Masuk steps up and gets there first. Ryan Putman, the linebacker, got there ahead of everybody.
Yeah, it seems like Killingly's doing really good running the off tackle, that blast area we used to call back in the day, and then trying to get the outside with a little pitch or a little sweep formation with it. But again, trying to go downhill with this defense is not going to happen as much right now. But the philosophy is true. If Killingly can continue to pound him, and Masuk, is fast and elusive, can cause a lot of tension for the defense to be out there for that long.
Sumner under center for Killingly. Little end around, and it was there. Lamont, he slipped and then was hit immediately by 3 Panthers, led by Luke Longo, and that'll bring up a 3rd and long. That's a loss of 5.
Yeah,
that play was there.
Yeah, good discipline on the edge. He stayed home. The corner filled in there, and the safety came downhill, and that was stuffed.
Yeah, Lamont slipped. I think if he had got that clean, he had the angle to the edge.
Right.
Will Killingly put it in the air on 3rd and 15? Straight eye for Killingly. Sumner gonna throw. Flat, has it. Caught and complete to Lamont. So it's a short gain. Gets him to the 20-yard line. So
that's a good call. Confident pass. That's the way to execute it. Get your steps and throw that ball. The quicker he could release it off his steps, making that quick read, the more confidence he could build in. Again, the short game for the passing on both teams is really good.
So it's 4th and long. It's 4th and 8. It was 3rd and 15. So they got about half of it back. But you got to assume they're going to have to put it back into the air here on 4th down with the ball resting at Killingly's 20. Sumner instead tosses to Reef. Reef's going to throw it. Has a man in the end zone. It's Lamont, incomplete. And I thought maybe a pass interference call, but no. Walker had him face guarded. I thought Lamont was going to get that flag, but instead it's a turnover on downs, and Masuk holds.
Very, very questionable. I mean, I know that when we coach our defensive backs back in the day, we want to get a hand on the hip, eyes to the ball, and try to make sure you make a play on the ball. And in that situation, everything happened really quick, and maybe the angle the referee didn't see that. But that was a really close opportunity there for the football team.
I mean, the official was literally right there. It was feet in front of him. So whatever he saw, and I also don't proclaim to know the intricacies of the high school rules. So the official saw it, and he was fine with it. And we're going to get a flag on the play. Hope was in motion. And that's going to be the 4th procedure penalty against Masuk. So the one thing not sharp yet with the sort of crispness of their offense.
A lot of hiccups with these penalties. Things like this, in a game like this can be very costly. And field position will be really hard to get if you make mistakes like this.
1st and 15. Klein in the shotgun. He's going to throw. Pressure. Deep ball. Has his man, and it's caught. Shane Walker with a brilliant catch goes up over the defensive back and brings it down. Big play for the Panthers.
Well, the front line did a great job with pass protection. Big 77 held the edge, and he gave the quarterback that lane to throw on that outside shoulder for that receiver. So it's a great effort in the front line for that pass protection there.
Tarenti was there And that was just a great catch by Walker. Klein rolls, has plenty of time, gets a block, throws it deep, dangerous, but it's caught at the 20-yard line by Colin Hope. And give credit to some arm strength from Klein. That ball carried longer than I thought.
Well, Hope realized that when the quarterback was rolling out that his spot was covered by a backer under him. He just kept on running till he got out that zone and became wide open. That's, those play-action rollout passes are very good for that.
Well, he had hope.
Yep, he had hope.
Klein, hands off, no, fakes it to Champagne, swings it, and it's dropped. Max Viglione, and that's his second drop of the game. And not to put any sort of, thing into the universe, but 2 drops is a quick way to stop getting the ball thrown to you.
Yeah.
So, that young man has to really lock in on whatever one is next for him.
They said it hurt Kansas City last night.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney looked like he was struggling a little bit. Champagne off tackle, bounces it outside, and he's wrestled down after a short gain. Anthony Oates, the linebacker, came up and made the tackle. Here comes a 3rd and 7 for Masuk, and I've still been waiting for Killingly to dial up pressure.
No, they're using their 4-man line, and I think they're keeping everything in front of them with the receivers. Spread is really tough to send a blitz if it's not visible.
Klein, here comes pressure on the edge. Oates, he rolls. Can he get to the corner? Yes, he can. Can he get to the first down marker? No. He'll be marked out of bounds at the 16-yard line, so he's going to be about 4 yards short. It's going to bring up 4th and 4 with a good kicker. Does Masuk choose to go for the 3 points, or looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field?
Yeah. So Anthony Oates had a great chance off the edge to get him, stifled, but he let him get the outside, and he ran out there and got a big chunk out of it.
You got to remember, the kid's not a quarterback per se. He's a wide receiver, so you got to respect the wheels once he gets to the outside. Big play for the Masuk offense, huge play for the Killingly defense. 4th and 6. Ball at the 18-yard line. Klein's going to roll left. Pressured. Eludes one man. There's Oates, and that's not going to elude that time. We're going to get a flag. It should be a grounding penalty, but I think they might call Oates on an unnecessary roughness. Let's see what the call is. No, it is intentional grounding.
Yep. They had 2 receivers running vertical routes.
Turnover on downs. Klein eluded one, but Oates had him in the sights the second time.
He made up for that last play. He knows he's there. Sometimes it takes a play like that where you're so close to know that you can do it. And so, his effort there to get him, to just throw that ball down and get a penalty and, favor the Killingly football team is good at this point right now.
So Killingly holds on the defense. It's a big defensive stand. And let's see what Killingly dials up here as we have 3 seconds remaining in the first period. So the penalty does get marked off, so Killingly gets the ball all the way back out to the 32-yard line. This will be their 3rd possession. They went from a 3-and-out to driving the length of the field. Let's see what they got here. 1st and 10, Killingly at the 32-yard. Up the gut, Reef for about 3, and that'll take us to the end of the first period. We'll be back with second quarter action, 7-0 Masuk on top. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off season, and Game Day has no off season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. 7-0 Masuk to start the second quarter. Game Day is brought to you by Philomena's, the award-winning great food live entertainment at Moore. Visit them at philomenascafe.com to view the menu and book your next catering or private event. Go on down and grab Mike or Sarah and tell them that you heard it here on Game Day. Philomena's is the place to go for good food, live entertainment, and a whole lot of fun in Waterford. Casey O'Neill along with Pasta Santa Maria. It's 7-0 as we start the second period. You mentioned big number 79.
Yes,
my guy Leslie was in the game. Tell me what you saw on that play.
I said he was playing nose guard. The linebacker tapped him, and I just thought he was supposed to go to a gap. Well, when that center snapped, I lost sight of him as big 79 just lifted him up all the way to the mesh point. I mean, we were just talking about, how can you block a big guy like that? There's so many ways, but definitely right now that center has a big job as he's still in that football field, the tallest guy on the football field at this time.
Nathaniel Leslie causing havoc. 2nd and 6 for Killingly. Handoff to the outside goes Brown. Brown breaks a tackle, cuts it back inside, and he's close to the sticks. That's a nice agility and a little shiftiness from Everton Brown. First down, they'll move the chains.
Seems like both teams right now got a good sweat going into the second quarter. Not a blowout at this time. I think this is, again, the psychological war is, trying to be consistent at what you do best. And so far, Killingly is showing that they can go back to this RPO swagger and work on the clock.
1st and 10, just past the 40-yard line. And that play was blown up. Great penetration from the left side and a run blitz from Masuk. Colin Hope got there and no gain, maybe a loss of 1 for Killingly.
A couple out-of-town scores for you. Griswold 13-0 over East Catholic. Fitch and Thames River, no score after 1. East Lyme, Northwest United tied at 7.
All right.
Love opening week. This is where more questions get raised than answers are found. 2nd down. Brown shows some speed, breaks a tackle and crosses midfield. It'll bring up 3rd and short. And Killingly, we're going to see this there. So keen on Reith. Everton Brown has been anointed the other guy tonight.
That's right. I tell you, this off-tackle play has been probably the best run play that they've had. It causes them to either cut it hard inside or break it into the outside level. So good job from the front line continuing to make those blocks.
3rd and short, ball right at midfield. Fakes the handoff to Sumner, and he's wrestled down by Hope for a loss, so it's going to be 4th. And they went backwards. First time we saw Sumner get outside, I don't think that was an option. I think that was a designated quarterback keeper.
Yeah, right now defense is playing a strong man. They're just staying with their guy, and they're making the tackles. I mean, one breakaway play, and it's all over, but that's that high-risk, high-reward kind of defensive mindset, knowing that 99% of the chance they know where it's going to go.
Starting here on their own side, Killingly will choose to punt it away. Masuk's not buying it. They're not putting anybody back. They're going to let this thing go and maybe put a little pressure on the punter. Now, finally dropping back for Masuk. Christian Fox. Good snap, no pressure. A good punt. It's going to land at the 30, and this time it takes a Masuk bounce. And so Masuk will have great field position. Killingly only got about 15 yards out of the punt.
One good thing on this side of town is not that hard sun that was hitting us the week before as we were practicing. These sunsets in certain fields are really intense.
No,
it's a beautiful setting back here in packed stadium.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to look the other way now. We're gonna wait for thunderstorms over the next couple of days. So
right.
All these games have to keep their fingers crossed so we don't see lightning. Rain we can do, lightning not so much. Handoff, Champagne, and a beautiful open field tackle. Tarenti with the tackle, no gain, and that's a tough guy to bring down on your own, and Tarenti stood there, brought down Champagne.
No, good discipline, as that was kind of an RPO scheme, giving the ball to the back, pulling it out and trying to give it out there. But he stayed home and he made a play. Great effort there.
2nd and 9. Looks like Killingly's adjusting a little bit to some of what they see. I think this is when Masuk will rely on the Walkers and their athleticism and just their talent.
Right.
Klein to throw. has time. Deep ball over the middle, and it's overthrown. He was looking for Gavin Walker. That time he put a little too much air in it, and it goes incomplete, 3rd and long.
You know, for the families out there that see spread offenses, you know, one thing that you like to understand is what makes that kind of offense really give receivers wide open. It's the open and under concept. If you push somebody vertical and you get somebody to play under, the defense has to make a choice if they're going to play under or stay over top. And those open plays can, you know, make a lot of yardage with yards per catch. That's what these players are all about here.
3rd and 9. Klein rolls, dumps off a screen pass to Champagne, and he'll get close to the sticks. It was read late, but well, and I think just shy of the 1st down. Champagne's going to be about a yard short. Let's see what Masuk wants to do here on their side of the field on 4th and 2. Looks like they'll send their punt unit out. As I don't think they want to give Killingly a short field. They want to make Killingly go 60 yards, 70 yards.
This is a big chess game when it comes to field position. You don't want to make that mistake. One of my old coaches used to say.
This time Masuk, though, is going to go up into a tight formation on short, and they're going to go for it. They give it to Champagne. Champagne breaks a tackle. Champagne's in the open. It's a foot race to the end zone. Pop the cork. Jason Champagne for 6.
Wow. What a play. The old superpower double wing formation and a broken tackle.
Those 4th and shorts can be devastating because if you get that one broken tackle, you are gone.
He popped that tackle and popped the Champagne getting in the end zone. That was a great play.
Zylik will come in for the extra point, 13-0. Masuk on top of Killingly. Good snap, good hold, and strong kick is up and through. 7:44 remaining here in the first half. Killingly's got its work cut out. 14-0. The Panthers of Masuk on top. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8. The best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week. Well, that play right there would qualify as a big play, and big plays are what we're all about here on Game Day, and that's why we have the Great 8. So as I'm sure you all know by now, if you want to be a part of our weekly Great 8, you got to submit to any of our social media sites that clip. Any sport, practice, game, or trick shots are all welcome. The Great 8 plays of the week on Game Day. Killingly's going to need a big play here, either on offense or defense, to get themselves righted. This time the kickoff goes high and all the way to the goal line where it's taken by Brown. Brown cuts inside, crosses the 20, breaks a tackle down to the 22-yard line. Everton Brown doing work here for Killingly.
That young man is putting in work today.
And if you haven't seen the video yet of the fall sports preview, go to YouTube or to any of our social media sites and check out Greatness Has No Offseason, featuring many of the fall athletes that we have here in the ECC. And go to the merch store, to the Day's new Game Day merch store. You can get yourself a Greatness Has No Offseason sweatshirt or shirt, along with a Game Day pullover as well. Sumner, Killingly operates from the eye. Pass into the flat is caught. Gain is short, crossing the 25-yard line. Pass was caught by Capuano, and it'll be 2nd and 6.
Okay, something that I'm seeing uniquely here. They're playing a 53 front, which is the 3 linebackers stacked over the 5-man outside linebackers. They're really making a full commitment to this run game and letting the 3 DBs just keep everything in front of them. I mean, it's been a series of defensive calls that I've been noticing that really puts that pressure on the offensive line.
Now they move Reef up to fullback in the I. Reef gets it, breaks a tackle. Now he shows his speed. Soren Reef crosses the 50, crosses the 40, puts his head down, breaks a tackle, puts his head down again to the 20-yard line. Reef is Soren, and Killingly is in business.
High risk, high rewards. Well, that was a big plus for Masuk there, as they had everybody in the gap, but Soren Reef broke that play by being physical on the point of attack and making his way to some good yardage right there. Great job by the Killingly football team.
First down, Killingly. They'll mark him at the 22.
The chance of the RPO on the fan side is getting louder as it puts this team into a good field position.
Sumner. Same formation. Brown is the tailback, Reef the fullback. They give it to Reef again, and this time he's met in the hole for a short gain, second down.
That's one thing about those defenses, that if you call a six-man front or a five-man front, or you get all this pressure right in the front, once it gets to that second level, if there's no discipline in tackling, there's breakaway plays.
Second and 8. This time it's the pitch to Brown. Brown breaks a tackle, gets to the outside and cuts it back inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line. Everton Brown has been big for Killingly, and they're inside the 5, first and goal.
Everton is putting a lot of energy in today, the first half, and you can tell right now he's depleted. He's asking to get someone to back him up. That was a very good run for him, but it burnt out a lot of energy.
First and goal, ball is at the 7-yard line. Rosas will be the tailback, Reef will be the fullback. First down. Fullback dive to Reef, and he tripped over a Masuk defensive player who shot the gap and dove at his feet. And it's a gain of maybe a yard, and our big guy, 79, Leslie, into the game here for this goal line situation for Masuk.
That little guy, number 45, Marciano, that's his name, did a great job penetrating through the gap, cutting up the lineman. He's one of the smallest linemen in there in the front line, but really tough. And he's got the Michael Jordan edition cleats there to show him.
I formation, Reef is the tailback. Sumner rolls, has a man in the end zone, touchdown, Killingly! Hunter Allard, the tight end, with the touchdown. Sumner hits him in stride. Killingly cuts it to one score, 14-6.
What a great drive for this team, and great momentum in taking over here. Staying disciplined in what they do well, making a breakaway play and getting some points on the board.
A little bit of everything in that time for Killingly. Reef with a big play. We said they needed a big play. It came from Reef. Brown showing the speed to the outside, and that time Sumner showing he can throw the football, and that's huge. They have to challenge Masuk's perception that they're a run-only team. Here's Reef to the edge, dives for the end zone, and he's in. 2 points. And Reef went down hard. We're going to get a flag on the play. And Reef is down, and that is, now he's going to pop right back up, because I promise you.
Yes, he doesn't want to get out this game.
Okay, of the following 4 things, which is most likely to keep Soren Reef on the ground? Being run over by a tank, being sat on by a polar bear, sunbathing. Which of the 3 is most likely to keep him on the ground?
I don't know. I think somewhere there's a local tank available here. I think I popped it around the corner there.
Well, his version of sunbathing is with the log on his shoulders in the bleachers on a hot day. And I think he wrestled the polar bear to submission. So
there was a movie with a guy that did that. He took a Vision Quest. That was the inspiration. The inspiration
for our video.
What a great movie.
Brian Shoot.
The Shoot, yes.
So the 2-point conversion and offsetting penalties means after all that we have to do it again. So Reef just went helicopter in the air for nothing, and it's still 14-6. Killingly's going to go for it again. This time they give it to Brown, and Brown is in the end zone for 2. 14-8. Killingly has cut the lead to 6.
This is a good opportunity for Killingly to get those 2 points in there. You know he's going to be very close game, so in this situation, that was a good decision to make. You know, Masuk seems to be vulnerable in the off-tackle areas, and that's what happens with odd fronts. When you have odd fronts, you know, it's kind of teaching football 101. There's those little gaps between the tackle and the edge player that offenses can attack, and they cause that run. Instead of being a downhill run, it's an angle to downhill run. So you can make good angle blocks, you can work on basic stretch, things like that. So I think Killingly's building their courage to understand how to block these guys with all that pressure.
Well, you know the veteran team that Killingly is, with linemen that have been around for 3 years, and Reef and guys like that who have been through these kinds of games. You know, it was a year ago where we saw Killingly manhandle Bloomfield for part of the game. I was doing that game with Jack Cochran.
Yeah.
And we saw Killingly, and we noticed that they had become a program that was comfortable playing against the teams like Masuk and Bloomfield and teams like that, and they're not getting rattled by being down a couple scores. You saw them down 2 scores and immediately went right to work. Masuk, on the other hand, has that same mentality, though. They're a program that's not going to get rattled by Killingly's response, and I would imagine that they're going to go right back to work as well. I love the chess match of the adjustments made off of each other.
Yeah, it is a great chess game that, you know, as coaches, I'm seeing this. It's just really, really in-depth, and everybody's involved. And that sideline, both sidelines, all coaches are in full action with their players.
Killingly to kick it off. Line drive kick comes down to the 15-yard line, fumbled, picked up by Masuk, and brought down at the 28-yard line. So a break for Masuk as that fumble went directly to the up man.
Yeah. I would say a couple years back, when most football teams had mud in their football field and grass and ditches and stuff, that the ball would probably stay numb where it belongs. But with these turf fields, you can kick it 5 yards and it'll go 10 to 15 yards the way it slides. So, yeah, got to be disciplined on keeping that ball secured.
Let's see what the adjustments made by Masuk are here. Killingly does anything different defensively, we'll find out.
Not a lot of grass fields left anymore.
No.
I think the ECC's most famous mud pit in Griswold
Was Griswold, yeah.
converted this summer.
I would like to say that now Bacon Academy has the most famous mud pit in the ECC. I believe Bacon is the last team in the ECC to have neither turf nor lights.
Really?
I believe Plainfield has lights but does not have turf. And I don't know who else still has grass.
Fitch has grass still.
And Fitch still has grass. But that's it, right? I mean, that's and it's never been a mud pit over there in Fitch.
No.
So they run outside.
The water runs downhill.
They run outside. Klein gives it to Champagne. Champagne crosses the 15 to the 18-yard line, and it'll be second down.
These guys are hitting so hard, their helmets are coming off. The young man from Killingly has to run off for a play. That's one of the rules that I know. If your helmets pop off, no matter what happens, you got to be out for one play.
And Reef comes into the game. We said they were trying to rest him on defense, but he's in the game there now on defense on 2nd and 6. Klein to throw. Has plenty of time. No one there. Rolls, points to his man, throws, sidelines, and has it at the sticks. Caught by Walker. Shane Walker will have a first down, and they'll move the chains for Masuk.
Yeah, the biggest thing right now Killingly has to do is contain the quarterback and kind of bring that pressure from the inside out to seal it off, because once he rolls his feet, you know, that wide receivers always have good footwork with that crossover technique. You know, it gets him out of there to throw a perfect ball where he needs to throw it to. So definitely Killingly has to pick it up in the front line to get to that quarterback.
4 receivers, twins on each side. Champagne in the backfield with Klein. Gives it to Champagne, off right tackle, and Reef wrestles him down for no gain.
Good discipline by Reef, staying home, scraping to make the play.
So 2nd and 11, loss of 1. Klein to throw, pressured up the middle, steps up into it, and he's brought down for no gain. Oates got him.
for Killingley.
And a Killingley player is on the turf, and so while they attend to him, we'll take a quick break. It's 14-8, Masuk on top. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch. 3rd and 10. Klein's going to throw. Has time. Deep sideline route. Has a man, and he overshoots Gavin Walker. Good job by Aiden Lamont, the safety, to get over there and provide some assistance to Allard. And that's 4th down. Masuk punt.
Great defensive series from Killingley. Just a good job by Rifa making that tackle. There were some plays that could have been breakaway, but yeah, it was just an isolation one-to-one wide receiver route. He tried to make the attempt to throw, and it didn't work. Good series for the Killingley football team.
Klein's got a strong arm,
yeah,
and he throws a good ball. You can see the rust of, he's not quarterback, right? You can see the rust a little bit long on some of his deep throws, but he's definitely talented enough to air it out. Beautiful punt. Comes down to Allard. Allard reverses field, crosses the 40, and will be brought down at the 43-yard line. So, big punt from Masuk, and Killingley in business with 3 minutes remaining here in the first half.
You said it, Casey. This is a chess game that is, from every series that we've seen, has had every importance to come out and make execution plays, you know. And so, the first person to make mistakes, we right now have done better with no penalties. I believe the past 5 minutes we haven't had any penalties, and it's kind of been that kind of game. Who's going to make that mistake?
And I believe we're going to have the band live at halftime, so you want to stick around for some band action here at halftime. Hand off to Brown, big hole, shows some speed, 1st down and more into Masuk territory. Puts the ball on the turf, but covered by Killingley at the 35-yard line. So a break for Killingley. Yes and no, though. That's great downfield blocking for that player to be there to fall on that fumble.
Yeah, that's the big hustle. Those are the things that we do in practice. When we're running a play, we get the lineman to start running after that running back breaks the line. Receivers are staying on their block and still being eye open to see things like that. That's team offense. That's what it's all about.
Ball at the 37-yard line. 1st down, Killingley. Trying to get one in at halftime. Remember, they took the opening kickoff. Nothing there for Reef off tackle. Gain of maybe a yard. It'll bring up 2nd and long. Clock ticking 2.5 minutes.
Got a lot of clouds rolling in here.
Actually looks a little better than it did before. There was some spooky ones out there with the wind picking up, but we're looking like we're okay. Of course, now that I've said that, Peter just showed me the radar.
There you go, Peter. It's got more color there than coloring palette.
Toss to Brown, and a great tackle made by Nick Fox. Fox sniffed that one out and got in the hen house. Let's just put it this way. It looks like it's going north, but we're north. It looks like it's going north of us, but it looks like a Jackson Pollock painting coming up the turnpike. So 1:35 remaining, 3rd and long. We'll see what Killingly wants to do. Again, they will be kicking off in the second half, so if they can get a score here, it would be huge. 3rd and long. Sumner. Hands off to Brown. Brown has a seam, cuts it to the outside, has a first down, breaks another tackle to the 20-yard line. Everton Brown has announced himself as the guy for Killingly tonight. Reef gets all the attention. Brown with the big play, first down.
They are knowing right now that weak spot from that defense is off tackle, and it's allowing the running back to choose to either cut it inside and go outside. So continue to attack it. Like they say, run until it gets tired.
A minute remaining. Sumner to throw. Corner route. And it's incomplete. A little long. He was looking for Peyton Wallace. Good coverage made. Good coverage out there from Biglione. The 1 minute mark, 14-8. Check that on the coverage out there.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
I like that attempt, but I think that Killingly does well when they run that run play followed by a play action, causing that defense to sink in a little bit. When you do a 3-step, it's easy for the D-back to just focus on his receiver.
Sumner gonna throw again. Right back to it, has him in, and he hits him in a beautiful diving catch. Lamont brings it in at the 11-yard line.
What a play.
Going to bring up 3rd and short. 3rd and 2. Clock runs with 35 seconds remaining. 2 downs here for Killingly to get 2 yards. Sumner showing that he can throw the football. This time Reef's the tailback, and he goes in motion. Sumner going to throw again. Throws to Reef. Catch made. First down and goal. Killingly as he got inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. Clock will stop with 15 seconds. First and goal, Killingly at the 6. 15 seconds remaining. I believe they still have a timeout as well. So with a timeout, you could go run, timeout, and then you put it in the air. Or you could put it in the air on first down and save your timeout, depending on what you do here. First and goal, Sumner. Brown, and he's going to be swarmed for a loss, and Killingly is going to take its last timeout with 10 seconds remaining. So it'll be 2nd and goal, ball at the 8. Good job by Masuk that time. They were all over it. We'll keep it here as the wind is now picked up. I believe it's blowing north.
I think so. Even though we're inside.
So it's neon night down in the student section below me, and I saw a young man walk by with a Whitney Houston 1987 t-shirt.
Was it pink or was it neon green?
The shirt was black with neon green and yellow design on it.
Got a little Whitney.
I have to admire the ability to go into your parents' closet and grab their Whitney Houston t-shirt. The question remains, why, Mom or Dad, do you still have that Whitney t-shirt from back in the day?
I think it's recyclable. Things with Amazon right now, I think so many kids that find old school stuff.
That's a great point. That's a great point. I don't know that I still have my Lisa and Cult Jam shirt that I got back in 1987.
Let me tell you, I had a crush on Lisa from
how could you not?
1987 to 1991.
How could you not?
Casera.
All cried out, baby.
All cried out.
10 seconds remaining here. 14-8 Masuk on top. Killingly knocking on the door. 2nd down. Sumner rolls right, looking, throws, and it's incomplete, nearly intercepted as he was looking for Lamont, but well defended by Colin Hope, and it's going to bring up 3rd down.
They might have a chance to get 2 plays in. I don't know. It's got to be quick.
Well, I think they can throw it.
You know, this man-to-man principle, I'm wondering why they can't really throw a nice hard slant, work them in, spread them out. There's good opportunities there.
I don't know that you can do 2 plays. I think this is it. If 5 seconds, 8 yards, tough to get in 5 seconds. Sumner, fade route, deep corner, has a man, feet in, touchdown, Killingly! Peyton Wallace on a beautifully thrown ball from Quinn Sumner has the home crowd living it up. 14 all with no time remaining.
Wow, brother. That play was great from head to toe. Awesome opportunity with little Lisa moment right there. He had placed the ball where it belonged. I mean, he took the step, saw the pressure come in, made the throw, and good concentration for the catch. Wow.
Threw that ball to the spot, corner of the end zone, and what a job from Peyton Wallace, dragging the foot, keeping it in. Killingly will go for 2. It's 14 all. Toss to Brown, same play they got the 2 on last time, and this time I think he's going to come up just short. So we are at halftime, and what a ball game. Killingly down 14-0, rallies to tie it at 14. We're at halftime, all tied up. We're going to take a break and then come on back with some band action here at halftime. What an opening half to Game Day, live on theday.com.
I'm lost in emotion.
I didn't know I could come here. Me being from Griswold, I always knew, like, okay, I could go to a tech school. And then a couple of the guidance counselors that came down and gave it to, when I was in 8th grade, they talked to my whole grade and they're like, oh, well, you guys can come to Killingly through the agriculture program. So I told my parents, and then the next week we came and checked out a semifinal game at Waterford, and then after that I knew that I wanted to be a part of this school.
Touchdown, Jack Sharp!
There's quite a bit of requirements for our ag students. You got to have something you're interested in studying. It may not be for a career, but it may be a skill you develop or something that it's going to be more hands-on and you can use for the future.
People think of ag, they just think of farming, but there's really so much more to it. I'm in mechanics, so I get to, class, we go to the farm, we just ride around the tractors, we fix stuff. It's really cool.
The other thing is you have to do an SAE project, which is supervised agricultural experience. And that could range from a number of things, from running your own small business to working on a farm to volunteering.
And on cue, there goes Soren Reef.
Obviously, that was a tough loss. Obviously, you don't want to end the season on a loss, and North Haven was just a great football team, especially that day. But that's one thing you end on. That's your last memory is leaving Rensselaer Field with a loss, and
that's been my motivation since that day. Just what fuels me through my workouts, and it sucks losing, and that's the goal each year is to make it to the state championship game, and to lose like that, it just doesn't sit well.
We had other leaders those other years. This year, he's that guy. He's the returning captain, and he's taking it upon himself to be more of a vocal leader and making sure things get done the right way. And we talk a lot. We talked about it yesterday in practice. We have a certain standard we expect around here, from how the sideline looks at practice to the little things we do. And it's up to guys like that to hold each other accountable, and he's done that.
Touchdown, Soren Reef!
The J strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
And finally, a country music anthem. This year's show is entitled Take Me Home, Big Red Road. Tonight we will feature one of the tunes from an iconic crossover artist whose roots began in country, Taylor Swift. The band will perform You Belong With Me from the album Fearless. This year's band is led by our outstanding group of student leaders, seniors Dante Adams, Julie Carver, Dan Jarrett, Madison Daniels, Aline Hadley, Sharon Jankowski, Seth Knoll, and Justin Roman. The Connecticut High School Big Red Marching Band is led by band director Jeffrey Easier and assistant band director Brittany Barrow. They are joined by a fine staff of music educators, including color guard instructor Lisa Higgins and percussion instructor Jason Beat. Now please sit back, relax, and enjoy You Belong With Me.
Greatness has no off season.
Not if you want to get faster.
Not if you want to get stronger.
Not if you want to get better.
This is where it all begins. This is our playground.
This is where we get ready. Where we get faster. Where we get stronger. Where we get better.
For game day. For game day.
For game day.
For game day.
For game day.
Greatness on game day.
Hey, Reef.
Do I know you?
Be careful, Avery. Avery Mays, Waterford High School.
You gonna win again?
I don't know. I hope so. Are you?
I hope so too.
Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store.
The J strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
The J strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
We are at halftime at Killingly High School, and you're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with the coach, Pasta Santabria, and a tale of mirrors, if you will. Two teams, we said, mirrored each other. New quarterbacks, veteran running backs, and offensive and defensive lines. Who was going to, assert their will on the other person? And at first, in the first quarter, it looked like it was going to be Masuk. They really kind of focused on Soren Reef, and Killingly got nothing going. On the other side, they had that spread going, and Klein was moving the ball all over the place. Champagne with a big touchdown, and then Killingly kind of started to figure things out a little bit, but then Klein with a big touchdown on a fourth down run for Masuk. They're up 14-0, and then in the second quarter, big play Soren Reef. Killingly's defense has stepped up, kind of figured out how they want to play coverage, and then right with zeros on the clock, a beautiful pass from sophomore Quinn Sumner, who officially became the Killingly quarterback with that throw. Back to a 14-all tie, so we're going to start the second half, and we're right back where we started.
Definitely. They answered, the questions that we were trying to bring during the game, before the game was, will Kinley's quarterback be able to, adjust to the pressure? Will this wide receiver transition to quarterback be able to do the things that Masuk has been done throughout the years? It started off like, we're going to run with it while Kinley was building up on it. Kind of like that Rocky III mentality. Once you find out that, you're a team, but you're not somebody I need to be intimidated by, that's when Kinley started to change their defense mentality. And then that's when the offense was just being themselves, physically fighting for those yardages and finding the weak holes. I love the off-tackle play, which set the tone to great plays. Soren Reef's attitude, knowing that, hey, he got banged up, but he comes up and gets right back in there. These are things that makes these programs develop. And being week one, man, if both these guys, whatever happens, both these teams, they're going to take a lot with them from this game tonight.
I heard a fan out at halftime say, we don't look very good, referring to Kinley. And I wanted to say, well, you're not playing Appalachian State, or you're not playing blank school. You're playing a state championship contender. You're not supposed to look good because they're trying to look good too. So it's hard to judge. I think against most teams, Killingly would have 250 yards of offense and would be running the ball down their throat. Let's add in one more factor, the rain, as we get some rain here at Morgan Field at Killingly High School, and
just a slight drizzle.
Just add to the mix, right? A little bit of everything tonight.
Listen, that's why I got my extra large umbrella. I knew it was going to happen, and I sensed it because, when you play up here, thank God with this beautiful field, we're not going to have dirty uniforms where we can't find numbers. I mean, this is going to be a big one for the second half.
Bring Peter on, Wappy on for a second. Peter knows a little bit about this press box and the heavy rain. Was it 3 years ago or that we were here? NFA at Killingly, right?
It must have been the last, so it would have been 2019, pre-COVID, I think.
Yes.
NFA Killingly in an absolute downpour.
Yes.
And the tracks in front of us right here that the windows sit in started slowly filling up with water and then overflowing into where all the electronic equipment was sitting.
I bet you were shocked to see
now
that.
I've got a little stand that at least elevates the laptop off of there.
Yeah.
But we're gonna wish that rain.
Yes, it already
keep it away over there.
Pretty much already gone. I don't like to stand. I'm not a guy that you don't get all of this from standing excessively. And I was not happy that night that I couldn't go anywhere near the windows.
Wow.
I think the second half is going to be very interesting because I think both teams probably feel like they are the better team at this point. And I always find that interesting. I think Killingly feels like, and you mentioned Rocky, right? Killingly's a team that softens up the body and then gives you the knockout blow in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Killingly's the team that you're supposed to be close with at halftime. You're supposed to, even the teams in the ECC that those 40-7 games are usually like 14-7 at halftime. You're feeling pretty good. I mean, we're hanging around. And then they exhaust you by body blow. Speaking of the 80s, Mike Tyson's punch out, body blow, knock him out.
Exactly, and running it to the left and the right and things that are just like, again, you could have a good defense, but if they know where to attack you, all you're doing is trying to find a way to adjust. Will they be able to adjust, Masuk be able to adjust and try to keep them from going there? Will Masuk be able to score more points to get Killingly to throw the ball? These are things that it could happen at any moment. Like, again, that first quarter, I thought, man, Killingly's going to have to really work their way back. But they kept their system. They kept on grounding and pounding their RPO swagger, and, they got the points when they needed to. Can they come out the second half better? I'll tell you right now, there's some factors out there. That football field's getting a little slick. We know that there was some hard times cutting for some of these running backs. Will these guys be able to sustain their blocks? We also know that the third and fourth quarter of any first game, we're going to have guys falling down with crampage. So who is going to sit back and be in the fourth quarter to be able to finish the game, and who are the ones that are going to start dropping? That's going to change the momentum back and forth here for that second half.
Well, I'm going to ask you 3 questions here in a moment, but we're going to try to see if we can effort some out-of-town scores as well of what else is going on in the area.
So always interesting first week with these cross-conference games. It's hard to know how teams within the ECC are going to compare. We got Ledyard hosting Sheehan. They trailed 21-3 at the half. Griswold up 34-6 over East Catholic. East Lyme and Northwest United tied at 14. New London leads Stratford 7-2.
Wow, that's a good one.
A guy hit a double in the gap to score 2 for Stratford in the bottom of the first. So here's my commentary on that really quick. I kind of thought Ledyard might struggle early because they have to, whenever you have to replace James Green and Jackson Polton and the sheer volume of star power that they had to replace, I think they'll be okay, but I thought they might struggle early, first couple of weeks, as they learn the new identity of Ledyard. I thought East Lyme is going to be pretty good, so I think the team they're playing is likely pretty good as well. East Catholic getting drilled by Griswold doesn't surprise me for 2 reasons. One, we said Griswold's loaded. They're going to be really good. They brought a lot back. But also East Catholic has struggled over the last 5 years. They actually were Bacon Academy's opening day opponent last year, and they ended up making the state playoffs last year, and then came back this year having lost a lot of guys again. So, in New London, Stratford's a great game, rematch of the state championship game where Shea Sanders had a big game.
Brings back some good memories. Minus 10 degrees wind Celsius. This hand was slightly numb from the game, and boy, we found a way to win it after getting caught with a fumble-rooski, but you're right.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a great game, and I'm so happy that, it seems like the ECC teams out there are playing some great competitive non-conference teams. So it's not something that we can say, yeah, all right, they're going to be good, they're going to be bad. We're going to wait till they get back into conference. But again, I'm happy to see that, we're playing well across the state. And that's the balance that we're looking for from our ECC teams, to be competitive throughout the state.
Tomorrow, Stonington is going to be playing Northwest Catholic. Bacon Academy will be playing Bethel. Montville will be playing tomorrow as well. So we've got some other games going on. There's an official shortage. So some of these games, it used to be Friday Night Lights. There's not enough officials to go around, so you're going to see some Thursday games, you're going to see some Saturday games. As we head into halftime, here comes the big 3 for pasta. 3 pounds of pasta. Here we go.
You got it.
Pound number 1. Can Killingly win this game without Sumner throwing the ball 5 to 10 times in the second half?
I'll be honest with you, that running game, if they stick with that off-tackle plan and make great breakaways, can set up the pass play. So if they can do it like they normally did it before, get a lot of running games, set up that 1-play or 2-play action pass that makes it a touchdown, that'll be happening,
Second pound of pasta. Can Masuk win this game if they give up more than 5 passes to Killingly?
They're an explosive offense, so it's kind of scary. I'm waiting to see them pop off, but the defense has been doing great. So again, I think that's going to be something that I'm going to favor Killingly. I'm not saying that I'm an ECC guy, but I do love this team, and I've seen them for years do this. So if they set it up right, if the pieces are put together like this chess mentality we've been talking about, and they can set up these plays to get play-action plays, all you need is 2 or 3 of them.
Third pound of pasta.
What's up?
Killingly goes for 2. Masuk has an excellent kicker. Will the kicking game factor into the final score of this one?
I believe it does, because that offense can bring the ball down. It can happen. We haven't seen it yet, but it's going to be a time where it's going to be crunch course. If it's going to be a 27-yarder or in, they might try it.
Well, there's nothing better on a Friday night than 3 pounds of pasta. There you have it. I think we just created a new halftime segment. Moving
there
forward.
Goes my carbs for the day.
A graphic for that one.
Yeah, I got to do push-ups after this one.
Well, we got the freshly squeezed juice in the winter. I got 3 pounds of pasta in the fall. Killingly won the opening toss. The opening coin flip, and they elected to receive. So they'll kick off here to start the second half in this 14-all game. Have what has been a very, very competitive second half. And I always love, I love my chiropractor. I love to go get my adjustment. I always love to see what happens the first time out. So Masuk's going to have the ball. Is Killingly going to stay in that same defense? Is Masuk going to change up what they do? Remember, don't forget, Masuk has the ability to give the ball to Jason Champagne 25 times. He's an all-state running back. They could certainly switch, and make Killingly honest up front. I also think Masuk started to throw the ball deep too much, and he got rid of some of those 10 to 15-yard passes.
Very good point. We noticed that their passing game was that way. Short, sweet catches, yak yards. We'll see how it goes.
Allard with the kick, squibs it, bounces up, taken at the 20-yard line by Champagne. Champagne breaks it. He's in the open, and just like that, it's Cristal time here at Killingly. Masuk with the opening kickoff, and just like that, it's a Champagne cocktail.
That was an explosive play. A great job by the special team. First 4 blockers there stayed with their blocks and rode them. And Champagne read it. He made sure he just ran off the back of their blocks. And that just opened up a little path. And his track speed that I seen just go out there just obliterated the team.
So I'm gonna be honest here. Did not see that coming.
No.
And when I asked would the kicking game factor into I did not expect that to factor in. Squib kick for a touchdown.
Yeah. Squib kicks are very, it depends on the situation. I don't know why you would squib kick it. Gives them the ball quicker.
So Zylik in for the extra point. Snap is up. Hold is down. Kick is through, and a mere 13 seconds after the start of the second half, it is 21-14 Panthers. And as we start the second half, we should remind you that Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. Part of our commitment to serving patients includes providing information that helps them make more informed decisions about their oral health needs. The website is a resource we hope you'll find both useful and interesting. It's waterforddentalhealth.com. Hey, nothing better than a 1,000-watt smile, and if you want your watts to be a full 1,000, go on down to Waterford Dental Health, the best in the area at dental health. After the game, you're going to want to stick around and find all our social medias for the Scient Federal Credit Union Player of the Game, and we'll award that. And right now, it's anybody's game for the Scient.
Yeah,
but you're going to want to follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, at Game Day CT. This is where you can submit your comments. You can see all of our content. You can submit your plays for the Grade 8. I think Champagne's got 2 of them.
Do we have to call it X now? Do I need to change that graphic?
I refuse, so I'm just letting you know. I refuse. I think the first time a copy machine was made and someone says Canon, I'm calling it Xerox. I'm saying it's going to be Twitter forever. High end over end kick is going to bounce and head out of bounds, so Killingly will have great field position at the 35-yard line for their first offensive possession of half number 2.
There goes the big boys right now running onto the field. I tell you, this is a good opportunity for the offensive line to keep it going. I mean, they've been here before. Keep the composure and continue that driving.
First down, Killingly at the 35. So we didn't really get to see what adjustments either team made because it was a kickoff. So let's find out what Masuk does differently on defense and what Killingly brings offensively. They're going to go Reef as the fullback, Brown as the tailback. We've seen this successful in half number 1. Brown gets it off tackle, and he's stuck by Colin Hope for a loss of 2. And now that's 3 straight times that play has gone for no gain. It seems like Masuk is starting to figure out what gaps and what angles they want to take.
I think they're outnumbering them. Again, this is a 53 look, 5 people on the front line, those 2 outside linebackers containing, and then those 2 inside linebackers that are stunting with those tackles. So it's very tough to block that kind of scheme, especially on an I formation. Just too many holes they can't open up.
Loss of 1, maybe 1.5. We'll call it second and a short 12. Same formation, Sumner under center. Sumner's going to throw. Deep ball, wide open, diving catch made inside Masuk territory at the 45, and it would have been a touchdown. Hunter Allard was uncovered and untouched, and if Sumner could have put it outside a little more, that would have been 6.
To the races. But that was good, a confident turn, caught posture where there was pressure coming and throwing the ball right to him. It's pretty good.
Again,
that he fell down, he could have gotten more yards.
And that's what I'm talking about. Is Killingly going to start throwing the ball a little more because Masuk is selling out on both fronts?
Play action, that's an awesome opportunity.
First down, I formation. Sumner. Toss. There's Reef. Bounces it outside. Stiff arm mush. And rolls forward for 7 yards. Give credit to Shane Walker. He held on to the stiff arm.
It's another good run. They attacked the edge player and sealed him in, and when they sealed him in, Reef was just able to get to that corner and do a nice little stiff arm and gain some positive yardage on this play.
7-yard gain on first down. It'll bring up 2nd and 3.
The RPO swagger is pumping strong right now for that offensive line.
Lamont is the wing. Reef, the back. There goes Lamont. Handoff again to Reef. Big hole, breaks a tackle, has the first down inside the 35-yard line.
Got a flag on the play?
Flag is down. We'll see what the officials say. It has been a very clean game on the offensive side for Killingly. They have not had many penalties offensively. And that penalty is against Masuk, so it will move Killingly a little closer.
Yeah, they're a little stressed out because when Reef is going through that line, you got to tackle him, you got to wrap him up, and you know when he's going downhill, he's still making yardage. And some of these defensive players are falling on top of him a little bit late at the end, and that's what probably could have happened with that penalty popping up.
Killingly in the red zone, inside the 20. I mentioned in his first couple of runs that Reef lowered his shoulder and sought out contact for that very reason. He was literally softening up the defense, looking for contact early so that contact is avoided late. Handoff, Reef breaks a tackle, stays on his feet, crosses the 18 to the 15-yard line. Ball comes loose, but it was on the turf. The linebacker from Masuk disagreed. That was Luke Benway. He thought that he had that ball, but they're going to call it on the turf, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Ball is going to be marked, looks like at the 16-yard line, which will bring up 2nd and 8.
I like what the coach is doing, asking the referees to switch balls as they have a couple of series in there. Giving a shout out to that little ball boy who's using that towel to dry those footballs up. Again, this is a factor in the game that a lot of people probably have not practiced during the week, where you're going to have some slippery balls, and there's been some balls slipping off these guys right now. So good moment right here for that coaching staff to be on point, and credit to that little ball boy for wiping that football down.
Well, I think if you're a Killingly youth football player, the idea of helping out on the sideline is everything.
Everything.
Handoff on a counter. Gain of about 3. That one ran by Joseph Gould. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5. And Killingly is going to, this is 4 down territory here. This is 2 plays to get 5 yards. They've gone away from Brown as I think they saw the adjustment that Masuk made.
I got to give a shout out to Cole Neal. He's right on that field calling the plays. I mean, we never had that opportunity when we were at Legend. They always threw Jimmy right back in the sidelines.
Little counter to Reef, snuffed out well by Masuk. Elijah Belazor, the 6-foot linebacker, came up and popped Reef. And this is where it's really impossible for Killingly, because that's the opposite 5 yards. Rather than, a 4th and manageable, now it's 4th and 10. They don't have the kicking game, and they don't have an offense that's really built around 4th and 10. This is going to be a challenge here.
Again, I think they were going to rely on either a strong play action play or just running it and keeping in field position, try to win that kind of battle.
I think there's some definite possibility to that. I don't see play action being very effective. Sumner rolls, has a man, he trips and falls, no flag because it was an honest trip. Masuk will hold. That's the 2nd time we've seen a pass in the end zone fall incomplete, and Killingly is going to go on to the defensive side.
That's the same spot as well.
Pretty close.
Well, good job for Masuk there, knowing that they can walk away without giving Killingly any points. Coming back fresh here with their offense again.
Now the pressure goes on to the Killingly defense. They need to hold here as they're down a score midway through the 3rd period. Klein from the shotgun. Quick out it goes. Has his man, Walker. Walker breaks a tackle, crosses the 30-yard line. Big play out to Shane Walker. And flags come down late.
I think those linemen were kind of running downfield, but it could be on defense as well.
the officials are going to gather up. It's tough when you give up 20 yards and you had 12 guys on the field. Shouldn't give up any yards if you have the extra play. Although Masuk's walking in the other direction here, so it is against Killingly. So I don't know why Masuk's backing up.
Takes it back to the 16-yard line.
And they're going to mark it off right now. Yep.
So the ball will be spotted at the 31-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 Masuk. And that's the kind of pass we talked about them getting back to. They started to get a little air happy.
The short screens, the quick outs, the quick hitches, those are the things that are going to get them there.
Because you see how much room they're being given. There it goes again. Out it goes to Walker, cuts it back inside, breaks a tackle, shows some speed, and crosses the 45-yard line. Shane Walker, they're giving him 10 yards with safety help over the top. Those are the passes that are available.
Yeah, when you're playing over coverage, or what we kind of call cloud coverage, very high, 3 high, 4 high, what we're giving up there is those quick curl out routes, so that's part of the defense's sacrifice. That's why we jump into a man concept, or we jump into a cover 3 to bring some linebacker help there. And there's nobody there for them to actually be able to get the receiver to get jammed off and redirect the route. So it's just quick 5-step turns, catch the ball, and yak yardage.
Got a Killingly player on the turf, and while they attend to him, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
We're back, 21-14. Masuk on top with the football as Everton Brown walks to the sideline for Killingly. They'll be back on defense here, 1st down. Fitch up 19-0 at the end of 3 over TRC, and we mentioned that we think both Fitch and New London, both who are winning right now, surprises in ECC. I think Fitch off to a great start.
Is that the shortest road trip in the area?
Yes, it is.
It is.
A walk. You have to walk there, no bus. There's a deep ball, man open, Walker, and off his fingertips. He was in the clear, Shane Walker, and that ball was on his fingertips, incomplete.
Another close play. Masuk could have been on the races there with that one.
I actually wonder, is that the shortest trip between 2 schools in the state?
Considering that they don't need to use a bus, and that they will walk, that they would walk on that one. I believe they do. I believe they walk.
So it's funny, during track season, I was over there just seeing a couple friends, and I walked, and I just stayed by the visiting side. And I'm looking to the left, I'm like, hey, there's the field right there. I mean, if they just cut their fence, put a door in it, they could take 3 steps down. They're right there to the football field.
I think it I mean, I don't know of any other 2 schools that are on essentially share a campus, which is what they essentially do. 2nd down and 10, Masuk. Big play, just fell incomplete. Champagne with the handoff, and he's got a huge hole. And Jason Champagne has a 1st down and much, much more as the Panthers go to their senior all-state running back.
Yeah, Champagne just ran very well. It was really blocked well. I mean, they zoned off. Guys, the cutback player just stayed with the line and didn't really read that back. He broke away. He took off.
34-yard line.
It's a big 1st down for Masuk, because if they're going to do that, that puts now that they've made the adjustment. Short passes, run the ball. Quarterback keeper Klein heads to the outside. Oates is on his horse and banged out of bounds. Flag comes down after a gain of 3.
It's a very close call. Let's see what it is.
I thought he hit him well in bounds, so. Could there have been a hold out there we didn't see, or is that going to be an unsportsmanlike? And no, it was in fact a hold out there that we couldn't see.
That's right. I gotta go see my eye doctor.
Well, I don't think it was you couldn't see because of your eyes. You couldn't see because there was massive humidity.
Yeah, don't tell my mom, but I think these glasses are about hit a decade. I've had these since since Elijah was the
Mama, come on, get baby boy some new spectacles. Let's go.
My little nephew. Yeah, I borrowed his glasses that year.
1st and 20. Klein, quick hitter, gets back to the original line of scrimmage with Colin Hope. And Hope gets tangled up with Oates. Well-known 80s group, Hope and Oates.
Was it Hope? Oh, it was Hall. You got me on that one. I'm sitting there like, One of my favorite songs is "Baby Come Back."
Baby come back. Man-eater.
That's right.
Peter probably had a Hall and Oates period in his life.
I thought he was the stunt double for Kevin Bacon in movie Footloose on the bar flipping. I thought that was you, brother. Huh?
Hall & Oates a little bit before my time, but my wife definitely owns some Hall & Oates records.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
If you got a record, you're legit.
2nd and 12. Klein, deep ball for Walker. He's open. It's in the end zone. Touchdown, Masuk Shane Walker.
Wow, what posture to make that throw. It's a wheeled route, a traditional wheel route where the D-back and safety could have just stayed in their zones and then jump off to that receiver. They were kind of confused, so they kind of went with it in man principle, and they got burned.
And right back to where we were, a 14-point deficit for Killingly as Masuk rattled off the first 14, Killingly rattled off the next 14, and here we are with Masuk with the next 14. Technically, Zylik's got to knock through this extra point. Good snap, good hold. Kick is banged through, and it is 28-14 with 4:40 remaining in the third period.
Talk about a momentum changer. The fans were going crazy until that touchdown there, and it silenced them just a little bit. But again, I tell you, the perseverance of this football team Killingly here, I'm not going to underestimate anything. I think they're going to come back and still do what they do best.
Well, consider Killingly had a touchdown, a pass interference we thought in the end zone on a 4th down. They had, that should have been a touchdown where the receiver had to go to the ground to get the ball. If that's a touchdown, which it would have been because there was literally no one within 30 yards of him, then it's a 1-score game. Now that it's a 2-score game, Killingly's going to have to decide how long can they pound the ball. You know, they have to respect the run, and they can still do that. But this is where they made their first adjustment in quarter number 2. What adjustment will they make here? A huge possession for Killingly coming up. Because I don't believe they can have many more empty sets. Oh, they're going to take a shot and kick it to Reef. Takes it at the 10. Reef breaks a tackle, cuts it back, and crosses the 35 to the 39-yard line. First and 10, Killingly. Good field position. The other thing about senior players like Champagne and Reef, you look at the level of trust that Chad Neal has in Soren Reef in his ability to know his own body and his ability to let him know when he needs a break, to stay out there and be commanding. Same thing with Champagne and Masuk. There goes Brown, and he's hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss. Hope clearly has that assignment as he's made the tackle 3 consecutive times.
I'll tell you, the defensive coordinator for Masuk is just playing it the way he sees it. First down, I'm sending the house, and knowing that they're going to run the ball. And so when you do that, you got backside coverage right there that just made a cut and made a good play. They have different styles of keeping 8 men in the box, from either the base to stunting and slanting, and that's mixing up a lot of, just how this offensive line can communicate to make their blocks.
2nd and long. Sumner. Play action. wants to throw, has the wheel route. It's in the air and incomplete. He was looking for Allard, and he was covered well by Tariq Al-Hamidi.
Long distance right now for this Killingly football team.
So big play here, 3rd and long. I think that was the play action they were hoping for. They had the route. It was one-on-one. They've had success with Allard.
Right.
That time, though, well defended. And what are they going to come back with here on 3rd and long? They're in a 4-receiver package. Shotgun from Sumner.
Yeah, the defense is playing soft coverage right now.
Sumner pressured, steps up, and he's going to be sacked. Masuk with a great job in coverage. Sacks Sumner, and Killingly's going to have to punt. And going around here now, that's 2 scores and going backwards. That was a big defensive stand by the Panthers.
Definitely a big defensive stance by the Panthers. They played a lot of pressure the first 2 sets, and then the 3rd set base, and then after that they just saw soft coverage, forcing them to punt.
Standing at his own 20-yard line, high snap, gets it away, it's high in the air, and it's going to land at about midfield. Takes a neutral bounce, and Masuk will have good field position in Killingly territory at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, Killingly defense now has to really put their guns up and play strong. This is going to be a big series for them. They definitely have to stop the offense.
In London, leading 13-2 on 2 touchdown passes by Jack Philistine.
That's the new wrinkle for New London this year. A quarterback like Philistine, who was a state playoff quarterback last year. A lot of skill guys. Lines getting better. New formation for Masuk. Walker gets it on a toss. Walker breaks to the outside, breaks a tackle, streaking down the sidelines. Gavin Walker inside the 20, inside the 10. Touchdown, Panthers. The junior wide receiver, Gavin Walker.
What a run play. It's a, your traditional double wing formation, super power set, and again, overloading one side, causing a breakaway tackle there and making them score on one play.
Masuk looking like a totally different team here in the second half. What a 3rd quarter for the Panthers. Return the opening kickoff for a touchdown, and then 2, pretty much do what you will moving the football.
Yeah, they really had a good halftime, knowing what they had to do.
Extra point. Snap is high, but it stays in play, and Killingly gives up the 2-point conversion. How about that? Of all the people for the fumbled snap to go to was Jason Champagne.
Imagine that.
The All-State running back, 2 points for Masuk.
That was amazing.
That's when you know things are going the wrong way.
He could have put the ball down, but I think what happened was when it went through his hands, it went through his body. There was no way he could place it. Saw him there. Hey, give it to the big man. Let him do his work. That's second effort.
When it rains, it pours, and this 3rd period has been disastrous for Killingly. They're going to get the ball back with 2.5 minutes remaining. I don't know the last time they've been down.
This changes
3
the whole
touchdowns.
dynamic. To have a run power game, you're definitely going to have to make sure you maintain the game close. If you don't do that, it takes you way off your element.
Peter, that would be an interesting thing to look up. Not that we can, but when was the last time Killingly trailed by 3 touchdowns in a game? I'm not sure it happened at all in the last couple of years, and it may be quite a while. Brown takes the kick at the 5-yard line and heads straight up the hash. Now he bounces it outside, breaks a tackle as he hurdles, cuts it back, and Brown puts the ball on turf. Ball still loose. Masuk thinks they have it. Of course, everyone thinks they have it at first. But Killingly has it. I love it when a fumble goes on the turf and everybody points it. I got it. We got it. It's going that way.
Yeah, you know that we coach that. That's a coaching thing.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
Because it makes the referees get confused. So when they're down there, sometimes the referee going to the ball doesn't know which side is which until they get their heads up. So you'll see players point, acknowledging, and then sometimes the referee will make a.
If you want to confuse the refs, why don't you just say, if a train leaves Chicago going 35 miles an hour heading northwest? I mean, that would confuse me.
Because they have calculators in their pockets. You got to be careful with that.
First down, Killingly. Sumner under center. Reef with no room to run is brought down immediately by Putman. No gain.
Yeah, again, Masuk's playing a strong stack defense and just creating a lot of havoc in the front line.
Second and 10. Something's going to have to give here. Killingly down 3 scores. Ball's on the turf. Looks like Sumner fell on it, but it's going to bring up 3rd and long. And right now, the wheels starting to get a little loose here for Killingly. So technically, Ledyard and Killingly, 2 ECC schools trailing.
Right.
New London, Griswold, and Fitch, 3 ECC teams leading, and the last we knew East Lyme was tied. Third and long. Sumner puts it on the turf again. Second consecutive mishandled snap by Sumner. And everything going the Panthers' way at the moment. It's going to be 4th and long as the clock ticks under a minute remaining. Killingly has everything in a disastrous third period.
You can't do anything at all on offense if the center quarterback exchange is a problem. This is the thing, again, that causes a lot of ruckus when you have a defense that has a nose guard and 2 tackles that are moving. They have a smaller group of guys moving. Their little 45 has been tenacious for Masuk. He's just kind of getting into gaps and causing problems for the center. And that could have affected those center quarterback exchanges.
High snap. Masuk puts some pressure. They get to the punter. Flag's going to be down. They're going to get a roughing the kicker call here. It's interesting, the tale of the 2 nose tackles. Masuk has 2 players listed as noses. One is David Marciano.
Yep.
He is 5'6".
5'6".
175 pounds.
175
The
pounds.
other is Nathaniel Leslie.
Yep.
He is 6'8".
6'8".
405 pounds. So with my quick math, you could put
carry the
almost 3
Yep.
David Marcianos
Yep.
into 1 Nathaniel Leslie. 2.5 Marcianos into a Leslie.
Yep.
And that's their 2 noses. One plays tenacious. One is 405 pounds of sheer will.
Yes, sir.
So after the penalty's marked off, Killingly will punt it again. This time the snap is better, and the kick is a low-line drive. It does take a fabulous bounce for Killingly and will go all the way to the 36-yard line of Masuk. Masuk will have it. We're at the end of the third period, 36-14. It's all Panthers. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. 36-14, Masuk on top with the football as we start the fourth period. After the game, follow Game Day CT on social media for our interview with the Scient Federal Credit Union player of the game. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more. That's scientfcu.org to learn more. Science! Well, Masuk has been pretty much unstoppable here in the third period, and they have the ball to start the fourth period. Be interesting to see if Killingly makes any adjustments as they went back to, did Masuk, the shorter passing game and some changed formations in the running game.
And kept the running game, with a little champagne on the side.
Now they're back to that same formation that has given Killingly fits.
A double wing.
Walker has it, breaks a tackle, and has a first down. The speed of Gavin Walker is evident. All he needs is a step, and he is gone.
It just seems like, one thing about the double wing is you have to have a specialized defense for it to make sure that they don't wipe you out, because otherwise it's easy pickings. It's a gap down, kick out scheme, and it's, superpower. That's all they've been running right now is a superpower play.
And they have the wide receiver, Connor Falcino, in technically at quarterback. Walker gets it again, breaks a tackle, shows that speed again, breaks another tackle. He's in the open and wrestled down at the 30-yard line by Brown. Everton Brown saving the touchdown for Killingly, but this formation giving real problems to Killingly's defense.
That front offensive line right now is like in just pure sync. They're loving what they're doing. They know that they're washing guys down and really not allowing Killingly to penetrate in any way. That's a good thing about that offense. It's really tight foot-to-foot technique that could come out to be something that there is no gaps. So how do you defend yourself if you're a defender?
Gasparini is 6'2", 270. Brownville 6'3", 275. They run behind them on that left side. This time it goes to Champagne. He puts it on the turf, and he's brought down for a loss of 5. They were going to go to Champagne, the other wing, and a break for Killingly as he goes backwards. It'll be second and long.
Yeah, definitely a miscue right there from the quarterback. Even the linemen are having their hands like, what happened? But definitely that's something that I'm happy at least he secured the ball, knowing that it kind of went off his backhand.
You look at Masuk's schedule, you get Stratford next week, and we don't really know what Stratford is as they're going up against a tough New London team.
Yep.
But I'm going to give you the schedule after that. It's very interesting. This time Champagne gets it on the wing, and Champagne hopping over Killingly defenders and pushing forward to the 27-yard line. It'll be third and short. Bloomfield. Oof. Bunnell.
Wow.
In another Stratford team. Joel Barlow. And they finish with teams like Notre Dame of Fairfield, Brookfield, and Newtown.
There's so many playoff teams there.
Yeah, it's a good schedule for Masuk. Last year, they lost 3 games during the regular season because they had such a tough schedule, and you saw how good they were in the postseason. Mm-hmm. 3rd and 8. Sticking with the double wing. Champagne and Walker are the wings. Champagne gets it again, and Killingly has made the adjustment to the double wing.
Yeah, that's a real good job what they did. The outside edge players, instead of waiting for the block, came in and crashed down. I used to hear it all the time from coach. He used to be like, just make sure that they come in, crash down, and seal that gap, causing the running back to either bounce it to the outside where there's your defender, or stay in the hole and get clogged up for no yardage.
So 4th and 7. Masuk has the field goal kicker in the game. That's Zylik. We know he's got a big leg. They're going to spot this one at the 34-yard line. So it'll be a 44-yard field goal attempt from the sophomore. And instead, we're going to get a timeout. And Masuk will decide if, in fact, that's what they want to do. I would love to see the 44-yard field goal. He's got plenty of leg, and you're up 3 scores. Why not?
It's a good opportunity for them to do so. The only concern I had was, during the PAT last time, the center did have a botched snap. So if they get a good snap exchange there, they should be good.
As a freshman, Zylik kicked a last-second field goal last year to beat Bunnell. So, he's got the ability, and they're going to send him in. I love this 44-yard field goal attempt from the sophomore.
The biggest thing is if he misses it, got to make sure you secure it, because if they can return it back, it could change the whole dynamics of this game.
So you need a good snap and you need a good hold. 44-yard field goal attempt from the sophomore of Masuk Monroe. Good snap. Hold is down. Kick is up. Plenty long enough. And it is no good. It just sailed wide left. But plenty of leg from 45 yards.
Yeah, he drove that ball.
So he's a sophomore, and he's 5'9", 160. And I can tell you off of that kick alone, colleges will offer him, he can kick in college, because that was 45 yards with 10 to spare, and he's a sophomore.
Yeah. I think he just overdrove it, knowing sometimes the kickers always have that mentality. Once they see it far, they think they have to really drive it. It's really a technique thing, like golf. You have to have a good stroke with that leg and make sure you kick it straight through.
It's funny, I was going to use a putting analogy as the ball went on the turf again, and nothing there. And Killingly's having real problems with the exchange right now. In golf, when you have a long putt, a lot of times players, knowing that they have to try to get a little extra into the putt, they actually pull the putt. They turn the putter over as they use their shoulder instead of their, instead of that pendulum motion. Same thing with a kicker. They try to wrench those hips and they fly open just a little bit faster and pull the kick to the left.
That's why you hear a lot of coaches saying keep your head down and keep your mind focused on the technique. If you do that at the end, you let the fans tell you if you made it or not.
And putters say, listen to the ball go in the hole.
That's right.
Second and long. Little trap to Reef, and nothing doing. The great job, center of the line for Masuk, and Masuk really feeling themselves right here. It has been a near perfect second half for the Panthers.
A lot of confidence in this defense right now. Coach is calling some good fundamental plays as far as stunts, and they're just playing effective right now. Just battling the gaps and wrapping and tackling has been a good thing for Masuk's side today. They have some good linebackers playing today.
Killingly will not get any easier. They have to go to Notre Dame of West Haven in week 2 and Wyndham in week 3. Sumner sacked inside the 10-yard line. Masuk flying to the football, and the Panthers have everything going their way at the moment. Look at the opening schedule for Killingly. Masuk, at Notre Dame, at Wyndham, NFA. That is a tough first 4 weeks for the Killingly High School football team. They also have Fitch. They're at East Lyme. They're at New London. Very challenging schedule for Killingly. So let's talk a little bit about what you've seen tonight that's a positive for Killingly and what they should be relying on as they go forward.
Well, right now you know that they do well with what they have, and the system is still in place. It's just experience. We're looking at a young quarterback right now that is feeling the pressure of this game. And it's some things that you can't really add into the game like in the collegiate level where there could be audibles when you have a front like that to make sure you can get a good pass off. So it's a learning experience for this team, but the tradition and the foundation of this tradition in the community is still here. So they're going to go right back to the drawing board. Coach Neal, I could tell you this, Coach Neal is not the kind of guy that's going to accept a loss like this without having an educational value to it. So it's something that we know it's a step, it's a hurdle for every football team that comes out today was undefeated. One will come out a loser. But how do you come out and learn? That's the progress of next week's practice.
There are wins and there are learns. I was told that. It's not grammatically correct, but the point's still there.
The point's still there.
Lessons, right? You've got to learn.
It's like who you with.
Or who dat.
Who dat.
If you don't learn from your losses, they are losses. Yep. But if you do, they are learns.
Yep.
Killingly to punt on 4th and a impossible number. High snap, punter goes to the back of the end zone. Low line drive, bounces and takes a good bounce. Champagne wanted to go get it, and he does at the 39-yard line. And covered well by Killingly, but Masuk will have good field position at the Killingly 35-yard line.
They could watch this film and learn a lot from it as well. How can they get better on the fundamental things? Conditioning is another thing. They've had a great offseason, and we know they faced a really good program here. So, take into account if they would have faced, your Appalachian states, your kind of, mindset teams that like to play a softer team. They're who they are, and they will play who they got in the table. And the schedule says it right there. So, and they have to be that way in order to get ready for the following week because it's not going to be easy.
So Masuk has it in great field position on first down. Looks like they're going to stick with that double wing. I wonder if this is their clock burning.
This is,
you know,
it's your typical clock burning, fundamental base offense.
Where they can still hit big plays.
Yep. There's a trap.
Trap to the fullback.
They just wanted to help you guys get ready for Fitch next week.
Yeah, Fitch, New London. Yeah, thanks. Right.
Yeah.
I got to get used to the don't make a call until the person with the ball is a good 5 yards.
I remember the original Falcons wing tee when they came out there back in the day. Boy, was that an intimidating offense.
2 guys got tackled that didn't have the ball, and the guy with the ball was 20 yards downfield.
20 yards downfield.
2nd and 5. Dive to Champagne. So they took Champagne off the wing, put him at the fullback position, gave him back-to-back dives, and he got close to 10 yards.
This front offensive line on the right side, they could pack themselves with a couple of packets of syrup because they pancaked that right side of that defensive line. They're playing in, when a lineman could smile and play with an attitude like that, then you're going to have a long night. Those guys are giving each other high fives and they're motivated. They're ready for the next play.
3rd and 1, clock down at 5 and 45. Masuk will be very content using this formation the rest of the way. Toss right, 1st down, inside the 20. Goes Hope. Colin Hope with a 1st down for the Panthers.
So when we used that at Ledyard back in the teen years there, the 20s, it was something that we never thought we were going to ever use. Coach Brackett brought it as an idea into practice, and then we started using it for the season. And we had a tough loss against Bacon, and we came back at the end of the season beating them with the double wing. So.
I remember that was one of the great game day games of all time, the Bacon Ledyard, and then in the pouring rain.
In the pouring rain.
And I remember this guy whose last name was Sanabria, though he's also known as Sanabria, who had about 610 yards rushing in that one. Speaking of 610 yards rushing, Masuk has turned from an aerial assault to a ground and pound, and Walker gets him down to the goal line with another big run.
Yeah, I tell you, I was totally shocked to this day when I watched that video. I'd sit back and say I would have never known that the big fullback we had, Daggett, who just turned 21, God bless him. Happy birthday, champ. Ran that ball, and they said he had the ball. I was like, what? I had to watch that and play tape.
Killingly fighting, no call. Looks like he's going to be short on the goal line. 2nd and goal.
See, this is when you know that Killingly still has a lot of heart. They're not trying to give up touchdowns. They're fighting and being physical.
2nd and goal, 1.5 yard line. And Hope heads to the end zone. Touchdown, Colin Hope. And with that, I believe the hopes of Killingly are dashed for good. It is 42-14. Masuk will kick the extra point here. And it has been, I think, probably a number of years since Killingly has absorbed a loss like this, home or anywhere else.
Yeah, it's tough. You don't want to see them go through this, but again, that's part of what makes football great. How can you persevere from a situation like this?
Good snap, good hold, and the extra point is up and through. 43-14. Masuk on top with 4 minutes exactly remaining here in the ball game. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8. The best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week. With exactly 4 minutes on the clock, 43-14, Masuk has turned what was a 14-all game at halftime, where Killingly felt really good about themselves, having just scored at the end of the second quarter. And Jason Champagne took the third quarter kick to the house, and since then it has been a Panther party here at Killingly High School.
Definitely.
Zellick to kick off. High end over end down to the 10-yard line. And Killingly will have it at the 24.
You know, we're talking about second half. What were the things that need to be done? You know, one thing that they did, they successfully had great ball control. You know, they knew how to be explosive, but also control the ball. They knew how to adjust their formations. They knew that the double wing was going to be their bread and butter. Some teams would not want to even change that style, but they found a way to do that. And you were right about mixing in that run game and short passing game back in the second half. They learned their mistakes.
Yeah.
And from there, you see why Masuk is that typical program.
Handoff and a short gain for Allard. Gain of 3.
Final from Fitch, they win 26-7.
And I feel bad for TRC. It's a long bus ride home.
Griswold final 60-12.
60-12 over East Catholic.
Griswold's no joke. I've seen their youth programs.
Yep.
I have a good friend that is coached there, and they've done a great job.
Kincaid Rubino. Get used to hearing that name.
East Line trails 21-14 in the start of the fourth. New London up 19-2 at halftime.
That's a great opportunity for New London to go down there and try to get a victory.
So 2 wins for the ECC.
Got a close one with
another one on the verge, New London. And East London, right now it looks like the ECC might go 4-3 or 3-4. Fitch, Griswold, New London are the likely winners. Big hole, third down, in the clear. Stiff arm, crossing the 20, 10, touchdown, Hayden Allard, big play, Killingly.
Definitely a good play right there. A lot of heart.
Allard, who caught the touchdown that time, showed great speed in the open field. And 43-20, something for the fans to cheer about.
No, it was great. I mean, again, that defense, you have 8 guys in the box stacked, and you're having them stunting. If that running back could get to that second level and break a tackle, he is off to the races, and that's what we just saw right there.
And you already see, by the way, the foundational pieces as Logie comes in to kick the extra point for Killingly. Snap, and that one had no chance. You see Brown's a junior. You see Allard's a sophomore. Sumner, the quarterback's a sophomore. So you see next year, even though transitioning Soren Reef out is impossible, you already see the guys, in the next set for next year.
Well, that's the great thing about the off-season programs. When players finish off the season and they're allowed to be student athletes throughout the year and play their other sports, you'll see success. I've always said that a student athlete that could apply 3 sports, academic activities, can be a profound person in our community. And when you have athletes like this, it brings a tradition in here that continues for so many years in this program. They're loaded with sophomores. That's something that we know they're going to learn. They're going to win. They're going to learn. They're going to get better. But they have great senior leadership.
One of the great things about football in modern era is at every level, how quickly teams get better and how hard it is to maintain success. When you look at what the New England Patriots did over 20 years, you realize, because you go last night and you see the Detroit Lions go into Kansas City and knock off the defending Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs, you realize how, the margin of error is so thin. A team like Detroit, who are doormats, go in and do that. You look at Colorado, Coach Prime upsetting TCU. It was in the national championship game last year. It's just so paper thin, the margin of error, and how easy it is for teams to quickly get better. Squib kick, and taken by Champagne at the 35-yard line where Masuk will have the football.
Yeah, I mean, that's a culture that in itself is instilled by the philosophy of the coach. And so when you have players that can buy into it, these games that are 1-point games or touchdown per touchdown games or waiting for that last 1 minute and a half to do the drive to get the victory, it all shows that confidence and composure that a coach can lead a team, you know? And so again, when you lose a game like this and you get yourself in a situation where, yeah, okay, what can a coach bring to the table? Well, he's going to say, let's go back to the film work, let's go back to what we're doing best and get better at that. Again, this is an experience for the whole team.
Are you surprised by any of the scores that you heard from the out-of-town scoreboard tonight?
No, I was a little concerned about the New London one because I know that, you know, it's always great to start a home game, you know. At least you know that you win by having the fans and having the people in there. But you're going away and you know, like these games that are just like with different conferences, it's not an easy travel. I get you. Most of them have been over an hour and a half to get to there and back. So I was a little bit worried about New London. Will they be able to hold composure there? But talking to the coach over there, a couple of coaches, I was confident that they trained them well. So I'm happy to see that they're successful winning, you know, against Stratford. So. Well,
the bus ride. That's my first question to our silent player of the game tonight. It's going to be, you know, losing makes long bus rides even longer. Yeah. Winning makes them tolerable.
It makes your singing voice better too.
In New London, that ride from the Stratford ride would be no fun.
They're going to be hitting notes. One thing I've always enjoyed when we came back from a victory, the guys trying to sing.
I'm going to tell you right now, going back in time, you're going to laugh at this. In 1987, the New London High School baseball team won the state championship. I was a sophomore second baseman on that state championship team. And we had, in 1987, 88, and 89, the go-to boombox mix was Bobby Brown on one side and Al B. Shore on the other side.
Al B. Shore with the one eyebrow? Oh, my God.
And I could talk to you about those night and day. Second down, handoff up the gut, big hole, and quickly wrestled down, though, by the shirt.
That was a good play.
I'm going to call a horse collar, I think, on that one.
Yeah.
But that was, you know, the music you listen to when you take a long ride home.
So you had a choice to stay one side or the other? Were you given that prerogative?
Bobby Brown, you know, and when I did it, I wasn't half-stepping.
No?
I went all the way with it.
So any little step you took, you was there.
See, this is why we have him here, folks, because regardless of what's going on the field, I can count on him for musical puns in the booth.
Oh, man. No, he's
and that's all that matters.
It's a great night for football, man. Very blessed to be here. Awesome.
We also, by the way, used to rock the Stevie B.
Oh, wow. You know how many people rekindled their relationship with Stevie B?
Spring love.
Oh, my God. Come back to me.
First down, Masuk at the 45-yard line of Killingly with 1:25 remaining in the ballgame. Handoff, big hole, and cutting it outside. First down, Panthers. Domenico Convertito.
Wow.
Domenico Convertito.
I was looking at the list today. There's a lot of, you know, wonderful names. And, you know, it's amazing how you do so well getting the accent in there, too, as well.
I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Domenico Convertito. I think that I did. 29 of Masuk. First down, we're under a minute remaining. Clock ticking, and Masuk's going to go into the victory formation and take a knee, and that will run our clock out. So as we head down, we'll give you some final thoughts as we wrap up. Don't forget to go to all of our social media sites at Game Day CT and find the Scient Federal Credit Union player of the game. I will interview said player of the game, and we'll find out their thoughts. Killingly will go next week on the road, a very challenging game, Notre Dame of West Haven. Masuk will go on the road to Stratford, and these two teams will be hoping to see each other again in the postseason at the end of the year. But a disappointing start to the season for Killingly, an exuberant start for the Panthers, and a good start for us here on Game Day. Next week, Friday night, we will be at Canamela Field,
Yes,
home
sir.
of what should be the 1-0 New London High School Whalers, as they'll play host to the 1-0 Fitch Falcons.
Wow.
Two teams that went out, and one who already took care of business, one who's taking care of business. Early hype for the Fitch New London game.
I got my hair is coming up my arm because all I could say is, what's the word? Kill the bird. And I could hear the roars from both sides of towns, making sure that they are going to be there that night. It's going to be a really exciting game.
And we'll have all the action for you. Of course, pay attention this week to the grade 8. And if you have a play from practice or from a game or from your own backyard that you think makes a chance at cracking the grade 8, you want to send it to us on any one of our social media platforms. And you have to have it to us by Monday at, what are we going to say, end of business or Monday at noon, Peter Wappy?
I might have to try to jump in there. I got a next-door neighbor that played for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish back in 1947. He said he could still run the wheelie route.
Oh, he'd run the
if I
wheel
can
route.
make him catch that without breaking a bone, I'm putting it in.
Monday at noon, you have those plays into Game Day CT, and we will look at them and see if you qualify for the grade 8. It can be soccer. It can be field hockey. It could be football. It could be volleyball. It could be swimming. It could be cross country. Doesn't matter. Fall sports in effect for our grade 8. Follow us on Game Day CT. Turn in your plays. Let us know what you think. And, of course, join us on Friday night next week for the New London High School Whalers playing host to the Fitch Falcons in what should be an exciting one.
Awesome.
For Peter Wappy and the coach, Pasta Santabria, and all 3 pounds of pasta, I am Casey O'Neill saying good night, everybody.
Who you with?